The Chosen One series. Episode 6, Isolation and the Chosen Path. Why the road can feel so lonely. There is a particular kind of loneliness that chosen souls carry. It is not the loneliness of having no one around you. You may be surrounded by people, family, friends, colleagues, a full and busy life. And yet somewhere beneath the surface of all of that, there is a quiet, persistent ache. A feeling of not being fully known. Of seeing things others do not seem to see. Of caring about things others do not seem to care about. Of living in some fundamental way, slightly apart from the world you are physically standing in. If you have ever felt that ache, and I believe many of you listening have felt it deeply, this episode is for you. Because today we are going to talk about something that does not get spoken about enough in spiritual spaces: the loneliness of the chosen path. The isolation that so often accompanies a life lived in pursuit of something deeper. And why that loneliness, as painful as it is, may be one of the most sacred and purposeful experiences of your entire journey. Breathe slowly. You are not alone in this moment, even if that is exactly how you feel. Stay with me. The loneliness that cannot be explained. The loneliness of a chosen soul is different from ordinary loneliness, and it is important to name that difference clearly. Ordinary loneliness is the pain of wanting connection and not having it. It is solved, at least in part, by the presence of others, by company, by conversation, by the warmth of being in relationship. But the loneliness of a chosen soul does not always dissolve in company. You can be in a room full of people who love you and still feel it. You can be in the middle of laughter and celebration and notice, somewhere beneath it all, that quiet separateness. That sense of watching the world from a slightly different angle than everyone else in it. This is because the loneliness of the chosen path is not primarily about the absence of people. It is about the experience of depth in a world that too often lives on the surface. When you see things others do not see. When you feel things others do not feel. When you ask questions others do not ask, and care about answers that others do not seem to need. There will inevitably be moments when you look around and realize that the inner landscape you inhabit is one that very few people around you have ever visited. That realization is lonely. There is no other honest word for it. Outgrowing the people you love. One of the most painful expressions of the chosen soul's isolation is the experience of outgrowing relationships. This is something that almost no one talks about honestly, because it carries with it a weight of guilt and grief that is difficult to hold. How do you explain to someone you love that you have grown in a direction they have not followed? How do you honor a relationship that once defined you, while also being honest that you are no longer the same person who entered it? There is no clean answer to that, and I want to sit with the difficulty of it rather than rush past it. When a chosen soul begins to awaken, when the deeper questions take hold, when the old way of living no longer fits, when the things that used to satisfy no longer do, the people around them do not always make that journey at the same pace. Some will be inspired by your growth, some will be indifferent to it, and some, sadly, will be threatened by it. The ones who are threatened are often the ones closest to you, because your growth holds up a mirror to their own unlived potential, and that mirror is not always comfortable to look into. And so, relationships shift. Some deepen beautifully into something more honest and more real. Some quietly fall away, like leaves releasing from a tree in autumn. Not dramatically, not with conflict, but with a kind of gentle, inevitable letting go. And some end in ways that break your heart, leaving you grieving not just the person, but the version of yourself that belonged in that relationship. This grief is real. It deserves to be honored fully. Outgrowing a relationship is not a failure. It is not cruelty. It is one of the most human and most painful costs of genuine growth. And chosen souls pay it more often than most. When you cannot fit in no matter how hard you try. Many chosen souls carry a memory of trying, really trying, to fit in. To be more like the people around them. To want what others wanted. To care about what others cared about, to find satisfaction in the things that seemed to satisfy everyone else. And perhaps for a time it worked, at least on the surface. You learned the language. You played the roles. You showed up in the ways that were expected of you and received the approval that came with that. But underneath, something never quite settled. Something always knew that the costume did not really fit, that the version of you performing for belonging was not the version of you that was most alive. The inability to fully fit in is not a social failure. It is a spiritual signal. You were not designed to dissolve into the crowd. You were designed to stand at the edge of it, close enough to reach people, far enough to see what they cannot see from the inside. The very distance that makes you feel separate is what gives you the perspective your purpose requires. The ones who change the world have never been fully comfortable in it. That discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that you were made for something the world has not yet fully become. The sacred purpose of solitude. Here is a distinction that I want to draw very carefully, because it matters enormously for the chosen soul. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the painful experience of feeling disconnected from others, from yourself, from meaning. It is something that happens to you, something you endure. Solitude is something different entirely. Solitude is the conscious choice to be alone with yourself, with your thoughts, your spirit, your inner life, for the purpose of deepening, clarifying, and reconnecting with what is most true in you. And here is what chosen souls discover, often slowly and sometimes reluctantly. They need solitude in a way that most people do not. Not because they are antisocial or broken or incapable of connection, but because the inner work they are called to do requires silence, requires stillness, requires the kind of deep listening that is only possible when the noise of the external world has been sufficiently reduced. The great mystics, teachers, prophets, and healers of human history have almost universally understood this. Before every season of significant purpose, there has been a season of significant solitude. The desert, the mountain, the wilderness, the long, quiet years of preparation away from the crowd before the moment of stepping into the calling. Your seasons of isolation are not accidents. They are not punishments. They are not evidence that you are unloved or unworthy of connection. They are the classroom of your becoming. What the isolation is doing in you. When you are in a season of isolation, when relationships have fallen away, when the social world has gone quiet, when you find yourself spending more time alone than ever before, something is happening beneath the surface that your mind may not yet be able to see. The noise is being reduced so that your own voice can be heard. Not the voice of your fears or your conditioning or the expectations of others, but the voice of your truest self. The one that has always known who you are and what you are here for. Old versions of yourself that were built for the wrong reasons are being quietly released. The people-pleasing, the performing, the shrinking, the shape-shifting to fit into spaces that were never truly yours. In the silence, these fall away. Not all at once, and not without grief, but with a thoroughness that only the silence makes possible. New roots are growing, deeper than the ones you had before. Roots that will anchor you when the season of isolation ends and the season of impact begins. Because a tree that has not been given time to root deeply cannot withstand the storms that come with bearing significant fruit. And your capacity for genuine connection is deepening. Paradoxically, the time you spend alone learning the landscape of your own soul makes you more capable of true intimacy, not the surface-level connection that fills the noise, but the deep, real, soul-level knowing of another person that only someone who truly knows themselves can offer. The isolation is making you into someone whose presence is genuinely worth seeking out. You will find your people. I want to say something to every chosen soul who has spent years feeling like they simply do not belong anywhere. Like the connection they are longing for is something other people have access to, but they somehow do not. Your people exist. They are out there, souls who see what you see, feel what you feel, ask the questions you ask, and carry the same quiet knowing that you carry. Souls who will not be threatened by your depth, or exhausted by your intensity, or confused by your longing for something more. Souls who will recognize you, perhaps instantly, perhaps gradually, in the way that only kindred spirits can. You have not found them yet, perhaps. Or perhaps you have found one or two and are learning what it feels like to be genuinely known. But they are there. And as you step more fully into your purpose, as you stop hiding your true self in order to fit into spaces that were never yours, you will begin to draw them toward you. Because authenticity is magnetic. And the more unapologetically yourself you become, the more powerfully you will attract the people who were made to walk alongside you. Your tribe is not behind you. They are ahead of you, waiting at the place your path is leading. A closing reflection. The road of the chosen soul is not always a crowded one. There will be stretches of it that you walk largely alone. Stretches where the silence is so complete that you begin to wonder whether anyone else has ever stood in this particular place. They have. Many have. And they have left something behind for you in that silence. A knowing that you are not as alone as the loneliness tells you that you are. The loneliness of the chosen path is real. I will not minimize it or rush past it or dress it up in spiritual language that makes it sound easier than it is. But it is not the whole story. It is one season of a much longer journey. And what it is building in you, the depth, the rootedness, the authenticity, the capacity for genuine connection, is something that a more comfortable, more crowded road could never have given you. The path less traveled is less traveled for a reason. It leads somewhere rare, and you were always meant to go there. This has been episode 6 of the Chosen One series. Thank you for walking this road with me. Until next time, go gently, and know that you are never as alone as the silence suggests. If this message resonates, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more transmissions, elemental wisdom, and spiritual guidance.